Getting the job. Avoid bad jobs. Bad jobs do exist. Examples. The employer has tried to fill a vacancy for a long time. You need to find out why. Is there something wrong with the job that's putting off candidates? The employer is looking for a clone of somebody who left or is about to leave. This is common. A good indicator is that the job spec is a shopping list of skills and may contain antiquated products or product versions, for example, SQL Server 2005. What's happened is that someone who had all those skills has left or is about to leave the employer, and the employer is now in trouble or is about to be in trouble. They've decided that they want somebody who has the exact same skill set. Eventually, the employer will have to accept reality and realize that there probably isn't anyone out there like that. It's common for the person who left or is about to leave to return or not leave at all, and usually for a higher salary. The company uses out-of-date technology. If a company isn't willing to invest in technology but relies upon technology, then that's a problem. You would spend your days begging for investment that never happened. Eventually, you would stop asking, as it'd be a waste of time. Avoid such companies. The company is tight-fisted. Of course, companies must be careful with money, but failing to give a meaningful pay rise or a bonus, etc., is going to sour things very quickly for you. There are companies out there that seemingly pride themselves on paying below market value. Avoid such companies. The job is beneath your abilities and will bore you. This may seem like a nothing burger. Yeah, so what if I don't have to work or stretch myself? Sounds like an easy life. Yes, but the problem is that starting on day one, your skill set will begin to fade, and you won't be adding any new skills to your resume. When you start looking for the next job, how will you be able to impress recruiters or employers? Well, you won't, and that will make job hunting very difficult. The job description is vague or it doesn't match what you are told at interview. This may not be a showstopper, as the job description may have been edited clumsily by somebody in human resources or by the recruiter, but you need to be certain, absolutely 100% certain, what it is you will be doing in the new job. You don't want to find out that it's way beyond or way beneath your abilities or is not really a DBA job at all. Things to check. Glassdoor, but be judicious. Glassdoor is useful to get a feel for whether employees are happy or not. However, don't just read the first few comments, read them all. Glassdoor is a place where disgruntled employees or ex-employees will vent their spleens, and emotionally charged rants are not likely to be reliable. The commute. Be realistic. Don't persuade yourself that a 3-hour commute involving 2 train rides, standing the whole time, plus a bus ride is okay, just because you want the job. A week or 2 of terrible commuting would soon change your mind. Company performance. Check government registers, for example, Companies House in the UK. Most countries have a register or registers of companies. For example, in the United States, it is done at the state level. You should read the last 2 annual reports and check for problems. Classic problems are reduced profits and a poor outlook. Of course, businesses always hit bad patches, but do you really want to join a company that's in the middle of a crisis? Check the share price history. Is there a downward trend? And if so, is it likely to improve any time soon? The company in the news. It's well worth Googling the employer to see if they've won an award, made a good acquisition, taken over a market, or had any other successes. Similarly, you will want to know if the company has been fined or disgraced in any way. It's better to know now rather than too late. Relocation. Be sure of the area. Start with Google Maps and check that there isn't anything nearby that might bother you, for example an airport or heavy industry, and also check that any facilities or entertainments you need are situated nearby. Use Google Maps Street View to check for anything else that might bother you, for example, the area being trashy. Check on social forums for location information. For example, in the UK, use Mumsnet. Check YouTube for videos of city or town centres. And finally, go see for yourself. It's the only way to be certain, and it's well worth the money and the time spent. I always do this. One time I did this only to discover that the place of work was situated directly under a freeway overpass. It was noisy and dirty with no facilities nearby, and I decided to pass on that job.